Hi, everyone.
Hi, James.
Welcome to the BeerThralls Presents Beer Protocol. I'm James. I'm drinking rum and coke still from the last
Out of
time.
a dubby cup.
Mm-hmm.
We are
Sorry,
doing a
I'm
small.
doing this. I'm doing this wrong.
Da 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 da.
Watch our Twitch stream.
I'm drinking by Virginia Beer, the Saving Daylights wheat ale with some citrus flavors. It's nice. I like it. It's easy drinking on a summer day.
And he who has no arms.
I am drinking a gunpowder gin martini.
By the way, that's Jake, and beneath him is Matt. So,
Oh, yeah,
everyone,
I'm Matt.
clink.
Clink, gentlemen.
Let's talk about super bitch.
I am excited to talk about Supergiant. I'm excited for you, Matt. Take us
Yeah.
away.
All right, let's talk about my new favorite bottle. She's got 1 physical defense, she's got 3 energy, and 4 mystics. She has 5 health, 3 threat, 2 height, and short movement.
Have fun painting white.
It's called Contrast Paint, sir, and I'm leaving it at that.
And she still has more colors than Moon Knight.
That is true. So, mental vampire.
Yeah, is a mystic range 3 5 dice builder. After text result, gains 1 power and has drain life. Basically, remove 1 damage from your character.
Fuck, on a builder?
Yeah. Fuck you, James. I'm bringing it. Her spender is a mystic called Devastate Intellect. It is range 2, 8 dice. This attack does not do damage, but that target character loses that much power instead. It's got stun on 1 wild, stagger on 2, and then if you happen to be amazing and roll a crit, a wild, 2 hits and 2 skulls, you get to devour mind. After this attack is resolved, if the target character is healthy, it becomes dazed. If the target character is injured, it is KO'd.
And how much does that cost?
8.
Fuck.
Yeah. I can't wait.
That is your all right. I'm God, I walk away.
Let's talk about her attack profile real quick.
Oh. Okay,
Mental Vampire is a great bread and butter builder.
Only
range
gains
3.
1.
She's got other ways to make that up.
I know.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Drain life makes up for that. That's why it's just 1.
Yeah.
I would also say 5 dice on a threat 3 model is always good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when we get to 4 threat, then I can start complaining of like, well, 5 dice and Pierce would be more consistent, or it should have like a push. For a 3 threat model, a 5 dice attack, as good as you could hope for. Range 3 is good.
Devastate Intellect. It's really easy to pull off a stun. It's not too bad to pull off stagger. The only issue, it's range 2. At 8 dice, you're probably going to pull off one of those every time.
You might get Devour Mind once.
And you're never going to get Devour Mind, but the one day you do it, 1 out of 1,000 games, you're just going to go, I am a dice god.
It's just
bow
going to
before me.
It's just going to be 8 dice on Hulk. Oh, God. Fuck, I just one-shot Hulk.
And I can't wait to do it to you, James.
Nice, but
it's never going to happen. But the first
what is Devastate Intellect?
The first time it happens, post, and we will cheer you.
I think where you would actually want to use Devastate Intellect. Granted, I personally, if I had 8 power, I would do it. Why not?
I mean, I wouldn't for her other shit, but okay.
She's got other good stuff. But in general, though, I would actually go after people who have already been dazed and have just flipped but haven't activated yet.
Yeah.
Because one of the general rules of thumb for this game is you've been dazed, you've got a ton of power to work with because you took all that damage, you get to have a really good activation for your first post-daze activation.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then Supergiant just be like, let me just slow your roll a little bit.
And she just goes, no.
Yeah.
Bad games. Bad.
Yep.
Granted, if she's in Black Order, she's probably not going to get that first activation. Black Order doesn't tend to have initiative.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like,
That is not true.
Actually, no, wait, you're right. They're usually facing against wider lists. I'm dumb.
Yeah,
yeah, but
I always have first activation even if I don't have it first round. Get out of here.
when Carnage is sitting there just flipped, and he's just sitting on all that power, just waiting for his activation, and Giant walks over and just goes, "No." Yeah.
Rolls up that newspaper, bops him right in the nose.
Just no.
All right, so for superpower, she has submit. This character may spend up to 5 power to use a superpower. Choose a civilian token within X range. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Of this character, where X is the amount of power spent to use the superpower. This character may interact with that chosen token without the power cost.
Oh, it's a control for a friggin'
Oh my
Black
god.
Order.
I'm not even done yet. This gets better. Supreme Control. 2 power. When an allied character within 4 of this character would be pushed, this character may use this superpower. They're not pushed.
That's
now,
nice.
it is important to note that it says an allied character, so it does not include Supergiant herself. She can still
Yep.
be pushed.
Yep.
But
And it's push, not throw.
Well, I would say let's just go through the rest of it and then we can discuss. Ethereal. She has this all the time. If this character would suffer 2 or more damage from a physical attack or collision, it suffers 1 damage instead. Additionally, if this character would suffer damage from a physical attack or collision, it drops all objective tokens it is holding. On the path.
Keep going.
I know. When an enemy character within 3 of this character rolls 1 or more crits in any of its rolls, after the effect is resolved, this character gains 1 power. And she can take the soul gem. She's not going to, but she can.
Her hurt side, it looks like it's the same.
Yep. She is glorious.
Holy
I can't wait.
shit.
Hey, did Black Order need something to sit on a point and never fucking die? Yeah. I can now play the objective game. Thank you.
And that right there was what I think Supergiant is doing for Black Order, is it gives them a big shot in the arm for playing Crises. It gives them a really powerful effect to reach out and grab civilians specifically. So she can't do all extracts with her gimmick, only ones with civilians. And there's still, I think, at least 1 extract, namely the research base with the scientist in the middle, who he actually has no interact effect. He can't be picked up. So that's a random civilian extract that still doesn't do anything with.
And she can't do, and with the Cree or Scree one, that one does not work to flip tokens because it's not a civilian yet. So I mean, there are some downfalls, but now I can actually sit on a point. I don't need her to do the attacking. It's going to be a bitch for you to take her off that point.
Yeah. Now, as a few definitely people have kind of pointed out, there's a lot of kind of hits or misses with this one. Ethereal is a super strong defensive ability. It kind of makes her 1 physical defense. You're going to have the random corner case where she actually blocks an attack. Most of the time, it won't matter. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, if the best case scenario of being attacked is you only deal 1 damage, I don't really care about what I rolled. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dropping all of your objective tokens, I feel like that's really important for game balance. Like, it's clearly a drawback to Supergiant's player. But
does the attacker drop them, or does the defender drop them? So do they get to place within 2?
Yes, Supergiant drops them when she's attacked. But that also means
who does
your
the
opponent,
placement?
It's the same standard rules for placing. So your opponent, whoever is playing against Supergiant, gets to place them.
So
yeah, it's pure drawback for Supergiant's player. But it does mean that an attack against Supergiant is never wasted. It's like, because again, like the feel bad of just like, I got to get her off the point, or I got to do something to advance the crises. But I can't. It's physically impossible to do anything to her. But this rule, if she didn't have this rule, it would just be really a feel bad experience, and you'd have Black Order turtling up on points, giving all of the objectives to her, and then she would keep healing herself, and you'd have to send your entire team into her to make any progress, and that would make Black Order a genuinely kind of negative play experience on top of their kidnap and murder game plan.
Yeah, I love it.
But this is an important thing where spending the action to throw an attack at Supergiant will not be wasted because she has the automatic drop no matter how the attack goes. Sorry, she does have to suffer damage.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably going to suffer damage,
I mean,
but
yeah.
she still has to. I think that's important. That's really important for balance and for making
Yeah.
it still a give and take back and forth.
Oh no, I love this model. It actually makes, and I also love this model. One for a tactic card that comes with them, which I guess we could throw in now in the conversation. Basically, it makes it so Corvus can be a leader if you're not taking if you don't take Thanos in your list.
I want to pin that particular card
Yeah.
for a little bit because that's
Okay.
going to be a broader discussion. We need to talk real quick also. James, you mentioned earlier only getting one flat power off of her
Mhm.
builder is a feel bad. That's where Omnipathy and Gembearer come in.
Yep.
Omnipathy range 3 is a pretty good range. It very notably includes her basic attack range for her builder.
Mhm.
Any roll does include crisis rolls. So if they ever have to roll dice to interact with a crisis token or as part of a crisis event, if they get a crit, it still counts.
Yep.
If they have to roll
Dang.
dice as part of a tactic card, it still counts.
Yep.
If she attacks with Mental Vampire on their
And they roll a crit, I get another power. So
Mhm.
she does have power generation.
Yes, she would actually be potentially pulling off Devastate into like fairly often potentially
Yeah,
if she didn't. If she wasn't limited to one.
So the funny thing is, if they also re-roll and it comes up as a crit, you get a power, but they don't get the explosion.
Yes.
Yes. So it's possible if your opponent's really unlucky, you're doing her spender on turn 2 because
God,
she just fucking generated.
I really
she's got to get within 3.
I really wish you had
But
something with
still.
rapid fire, just something that had rapid fire, where you could just sit outside within 3 and just be like, plink plink. Go ahead and roll those defenses. Okay, you roll those crits. Thanks. I'll just go ahead and take that. Pink pink. I do it again. Roll those crits. Go ahead. Oh, I did no damage to you. Cool. She's now sitting on like 4 energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The soul gem only adds on top of that. Like I don't know if I would do it every game, but I would consider it because soul gem gives her, I think it's range 4. Whenever someone uses superpower, she'll get another power.
Well, I just wouldn't typically, speaking tournament scenario, equip her with the soul gem because then it's not like it used to be where I can just mix and match.
Yep.
So she would always have the soul gem. So I typically I just would
want to take
the
Thanos.
Question would. Well, so the question would be then: is she worth it with all of these abilities with the soul gem? Is she a 4 threat model?
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, yes. I'm not saying she's not, but
so with this, I would never, ever, ever run any extracts that did not have a civilian.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, you have to play to your strength. No, like I think Supergiant can get a lot of passive power generation, which is important for playing tactic cards with Black Order.
Mm-hmm.
However, Supergiant does have some big notable weaknesses. Probably the biggest weakness Supergiant has is her move speed. Range 3 is good, but a short move speed means it's going to be difficult for her to get around the table without assistance from Thanos. Also, Thanos does not want to spend power to assist her in moving around the table.
Well, that's fine because you just use the soul gem or the gem on him to go, hey, you, for free.
I don't know if it's free. I think he's still got to spend power.
Yeah, still, but a power to move like short is still.
If he's got the one gem, his ability lets him use 1 gem power for free per turn.
Oh yeah.
I guess I should reread Thanos. It's been a hot minute. I just nope. I think Supergiant, she can still be whittled down with lots of attacks in general. I don't know if I would necessarily play her as a point holder or tank on her own. I do think with her abilities, she probably wants to be centrally located on the board.
Mm-hmm.
She has really powerful support with Supreme Control. Like honestly, like the most exciting thing for me is Supreme Control. You mean for 2, I can prevent pushes, which don't forget, every pull effect where someone gets pulled towards someone else is a push. Because there is no different actual mechanic. It's just, directions. The ability to shut all of that down gives Black Order and whoever else is splashing Supergiant a level of support and anti-control for 3 threat that I don't think has really been seen in lots of areas. It's a new design space, and I dig it.
I'm
'Cause
not
remember how
saying for 3 points this might show up in a criminal syndicate list. I'm just saying it's like,
for Criminal
no,
Syndicate not to get pushed off of their
oh my
points,
god.
she is going to get splashed. She's going to get splashed a lot of places.
she is a one-woman counter to all of Web Warriors almost.
I know.
Because Web Warriors is almost exclusively physical attacks, which she
Yeah.
can take all day long.
She's also got the same problem as like Venom. Like just hit her with energy.
Why? It's still 3 dice.
Still got 3 dice.
It's three dice, but she doesn't get the ethereal at that point. Unless
True.
you're trying
I
to
mean,
get her to
fair.
drop some stuff, but I mean,
But it's
energy is
still.
going to take her down.
But I still have an opportunity to defend against that. It's not like Venom where you get 1 dice, but you don't get 1 damage.
So, how's that 1 dice working out for Carnage?
I mean, it works. I mean, 1 dice seems to work out very well for you, but fuck you and your Carnage.
I would play Supergiant into Carnage. I don't care. Get wrecked, Carnage.
Oh no! It's just every time I attack Carnage, he rolls 1 dice and it crits, and I roll 1 hit and it's blocked every fucking time.
Such is life.
So,
okay, so we do want to talk about tactics cards.
Yeah,
again, like we may even be skimming over. Supergiant is someone who I feel like there's a lot of clear synergies.
Yeah.
I think she's a really exciting model because she's got a lot of uses beyond being another beat stick for Black Order.
It's not just that. She's a 3 threat model for Black Order,
which they just don't have a lot of.
They
don't have any of until now.
She is not.
Well, I mean, they had 1, but
Midnight,
but that was it. Everything else is 4 or 6 threat.
So what's the cards?
So there's 2 tactic cards specifically for Supergiant that I want to talk about, and then we're going to talk about Corvus's, which
first how happy he is.
The first card is a tactic card that didn't come in Supergiant's box and has been out for a while. Blood to Spare. When a Black Order character would be dazed by an enemy effect, it can spend 3. The character immediately performs an attack. If the attack results in them removing damage, they are not dazed. Up until right now, there has not been a model that can remove damage with an attack until Supergiant.
Yep.
This card was written for her like a year ago.
Holy God. I remember
I have used it against you and then murdered your model with me.
It's still good for other Black Order, but a 5 dice Mystic attack is probably still worth doing with this, especially if you get a field dressing effect.
I do remember us sitting here just being like, why the fuck would you take this card? This was a dumbass card. Oh,
nope.
Now we know why.
Yeah, it's a great card to have with Supergiant if you want to play her as a point control or sort of
100%. 100% take that card.
Yeah, avenge your own damn self.
Damn, welcome to Black Order.
Yeah. The other card she has, see if I can find it. Okay, this actually is not a Black Order card. It is a Supergiant and Ebony Maw card. So you could play it unaffiliated if you take Supergiant and Maw, which is not, it's not an impossible situation. Maw is a 5 threat model.
You'll still take it in Black Order, but after we talk about the next card, you can. That's the difference.
Psychic Shockwave. Supergiant and Ebony Maw can each spend 3 power. Granted, you do need to save some up for this, because neither of them can trivially get to 3 power. Roll 5 dice for every enemy character holding an objective. Sorry, holding an objective token. They have to be holding a token. Contesting will not trigger.
What's the distance?
You didn't hear one.
On the board, you get to zap everyone holding an objective token.
Yep.
They take 1 damage for every crit and wild that you roll in those 5 dice. Then, if they are damaged in this way, they drop all objective tokens.
Yep.
Thank you for getting rid of spider friends. Oh my God.
Why were the Web Warriors your problem, Black Order?
Really? Because they're all sitting there just plodding along, and they just go, "Eek! I got an objective. Let's run back to the corner in my same turn."
I mean, I never had a problem with Black Order, but James is very bad about his Criminal Syndicate, apparently.
Apparently. It is also
I
worth
could chase
noting,
him down pretty easily.
The card does say the player playing Psychic Shockwave chooses the order in which this is resolved, and which characters are
Ooh.
affected.
That's actually pretty good against somebody who does like just gathers up all the hammers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, like it's
'Cause
an
it doesn't have to be
incredibly
on.
interesting card.
It doesn't have to be on.
It
It
has
just
a
has to
lot
be
of
on your turn. It doesn't have to be on their activation.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so you could be like playing like Thanos or something, and then activate it and have him drop all the hammers
Yeah.
right in front of Thanos.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a very good tactic card.
so
It's super
good.
strong. It
So,
requires you to be playing Ebony Maw and Supergiant, so it's going to have some squad decisions kind of baked into it. So you may not see it in every game.
Yes and
But
no.
Ebony Maw is very powerful. Supergiant's a great support model that can hit decently
Mhm.
hard when people get into her range. I don't think it's that rare of a scenario to see both. All right.
So, what's this about Ebony Maw becoming a leader?
You
No.
wanna-
Corvus can now become a leader. No,
Sorry,
you can
first-
read this one.
First of the Black Order. If your squad does not contain Thanos the Mad Titan, step 1, you cannot have brought Thanos at all.
Wait,
In your
in your-
list,
in your-
not your roster.
in
In
Okay.
your list.
got it.
After deployment, when you would normally choose your leadership, Corvus Glaive can play this card. Corvus gains the following leadership. It is your active leadership ability, Right Hand Man. When an allied Black Order character dazes or KOs an enemy character, all other Black Order characters gain 1 power. It's pretty okay. As a leadership ability, it's pretty okay. If anything, I'm a little bummed out that it encourages the exact same playstyle as Thanos' leadership ability.
But you only.
I mean, to be fair, it does say all other. It is specifically Black Order, not Allied, so it does encourage you to stay in affiliation.
You're gonna do that
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
But is it okay?
This is also dazed and KO'd,
It is
Yes.
worth it.
not just KO'd.
It is worth it if you're not taking Thanos because you don't like the Thanos play. It does give you that wiggle room of extra points.
Which my biggest issue with playing any Black Order list is your core is always going to be Thanos, it's always going to be Corvus, and it's always going to be Proximia.
Yep.
Well, now someone throws a 15-point threat level on me, and I can't get out of it.
Yep.
I can now drop 6 of those points and bring 2 more models.
And to be fair, Thanos probably has at least one of the gems.
Yeah.
Like playing
most
a
likely
raw
2.
Thanos with no gems is not as likely.
So
Yeah.
realistically, my Thanos is 8 of those points, plus 6 for Corvus. Now I can't play a 15-point threat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
and actually,
this-
that's why I kept bringing 15 pointers in
Yeah,
my list
specifically.
because Black Order does not play into 15. But now, shit, that
Now it
tactic is
does.
gone.
For encouraging roster and squad diversity, I like this a lot.
Hmm.
As like a prototype of what a tactic card leadership could look like, I like the precedent this sets for adding new leaderships to affiliations based on conditions
Yes.
and tactic cards.
I
There
The
is
only-
a big drawback I want to point out real quick.
It's one of your tactic
I mean,
cards.
It's one of your 5 tactic cards, and it does not have the extra rule that Convocation's tactic card leadership has, saying it doesn't count as one of your 5 for the squad.
I really do wish it had that unlisted on it.
I'm actually
so-
glad it doesn't.
Really?
Because I mean, yes, I understand I'm talking, against, it basically hurts me, but because now that they have opened that Pandora box, now they could do it to any faction that, for any character that comes out,
Yeah.
for any faction,
Or anything later?
or anything later. So by having that, it just forces you to make decisions.
I mean-
I like that as an option.
Yeah.
And it helps restrict things later in the game. It solves
Now-
a problem that hasn't existed yet.
Let me ask you this as a Black Order player.
Yeah.
Knowing that card exists,
Mhm.
would you make, and you have to assign gems now to people.
Yeah.
Would you just drop Thanos completely and make your list around not having a Thanos head?
My roster would still have all the Black Order models, but now what it does is it was really difficult bringing like even fixed Ebony Maw, bringing Ebony Maw anytime you brought Thanos because they're just so damn expensive together. Now I could bring Ebony Maw. Now that he's fixed, he's actually good.
I mean, he was good before. He just didn't quite do enough for all the stuff he was doing.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But now he's much more balanced in that respect. So now I'll actually bring Ebony Maw. I might bring Black Dwarf now too.
Yeah.
Because
Dwarf.
Yeah, but but now I can bring a different core list to help actually go a little, well, not wide, but wide for Black Order.
You're getting wider.
Well, wider. I mean, but like I said, wide for Black Order.
In a lot of scenarios, it's important to remember too that Corvus also likely had one or at least one Infinity Gem in a lot of configurations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and he totally does. He still does, even as the leader.
Yeah,
but
or he's even more likely to.
Yeah, but now I don't have an 8-point anchor. Now I'm not saying Thanos is a bad model. He's obviously not, but it's an 8-point anchor. He's taking 2 gems. You're not taking him without 2 gems.
Yeah, my biggest issue with this leadership for Black Order is I actually wish it diversified Black Order more, because you're playing the same play style of being focused on dazing and KOing.
To be fair to that, I am happy they didn't give a different one, because Black Order models don't really do anything but murder.
I wish it had been more like Cabal though, where it was when somebody does a damage, you get a power. But that would make Supergiant just super
literally be the same. But
yeah, but I would love that, but that would break Black Order.
Yeah, that would make them too powerful.
I would want them to be incentivized to play a Crisis, so at least you have the choice. You can include both in your squad.
But I don't. But the models themselves for Black Order don't. Oh, sorry. I thought you were done.
No. I got one more thing I want to say, and then we can discuss why I'm wrong. It still ties you to Corvus, who, like you said, was already part of the core pack. So again, it's like, cool, we'll let you have the roster diversity of being able to take Corvus or Thanos' leadership, but a lot of the games, other than not having Thanos, I'm kind of waiting to see how different they're going to feel for people playing and playing against, because it's still Corvus and Proxima.
Mm-hmm.
True,
it's like
but
you swapped out the hubcaps on your car, but it's still the same car.
True.
It's even worse than that. It's kind of like you changed the gas type you put in.
No, not necessarily, because I'm still bringing Corvus and Proxima. I'll probably bring Ebony Maw or Black Dwarf, but now I don't have to play something in Black Order anymore, because now I have 3 models.
Yeah, true. That it makes you.
So
it makes you the ability
will
to
actually
splash
change it up. I'll probably bring Nakamura, the other one.
Nebula.
I'd probably bring Nebula, who's out of faction. I could bring Medusa, who would work very well in there, but I could never afford to play it.
It actually gives you a 2-point character you can actually bring in.
So I will actually change up my Black Order list a lot. So even though it's still on Corvus, it does open up a myriad of options. Because how much is Ebony Maw? 5 points, 6 points?
5 threat.
He's 5 threat.
If you take a gem.
So, and I probably wouldn't need to take a gem with him. So it's now I just bought 3 points by not taking Thanos.
Hey, Cabal players.
So now I can bring something I wouldn't normally bring, which I would love to do.
Yeah, I guess in general, this is definitely part of my own bias. If I just want Black Order to be different than it is.
Yeah, and that's where I go back to all of Black Order's models, with the exception of Supergiant, all do the exact same thing. If you give me a leadership that helps me do better on crises, well, that's going to be useless. It's just not the way I have to play. I have to murder you to keep up in points.
Final thoughts?
Supergiant's very good. I'm excited
for
her.
Very good. She's all right. She's fine.
I mean, they already have my money, so
I'm not going to go out and immediately buy this and throw this into Criminal Syndicate. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
I mean, yeah. The day it comes out, I'll be at the game store buying it.
I'll be right next to you.
It'll probably be painted within 24 hours. I'm just saying. A white spray can does wonders to painting white.
I don't know. Have you looked at her model? She's got like a whole magical floating effect going on, kind of
Okay.
like Scarlet Witch. You can do that in any color you want.
White.
It'll probably be purples and pinks, but
I mean, the studio job is purples and pinks, but you didn't hear it from me.
I mean,
Alright.
I know it is, but I like painting purples and pinks. So
Really? I like your background. So,
Yeah.
thanks everyone for watching. We're gonna go stream some stuff on Twitch since we're almost late.
yay!
Bye.
Bye.
Game off.